Behind the scenes. Yay! Bye. Hello, my delights. It's your girl, Delightful Debbie, and we are back here for another sewing tutorial. And I know this has been the one all of you guys have been waiting for, so here I am bringing it to you. Today, we will be making a 720 reversible peplum. Yes, you heard me right, a 720 reversible peplum. So these are the two fabrics that I'll be using here today, guys. These luscious, gorgeous, beautiful fabrics. Guys, the point of a peplum is basically two outfits in one. So pick two fabrics that don't go together in any way, shape, or form. That is when you will get the craftiness of the peplum. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. So the first step, guys, is you need to have your fabric, obviously. So for this peplum, let me tell you my standard amount of fabric I use. If you are making a peplum in extra large, which is 14 inches that I would usually do, you will need 2 yards. Exactly. If you're making it in large, 2 yards is also good. You will have a little bit extra, but 2 yards. If you're making it in medium, small, extra small, 1.5 yards, you will be perfectly fine. But if you are making it in any size above 1x, then you will need more than 2 yards because you won't be able to accommodate for the length of your peplum. So the length that I usually do for the peplums that I make, that you guys see a lot, for extra large, I use 14 inches. For large, I use 12 inches. For medium, 10 inches, and so on. But depending on what you want, you can make that different, but that is just the standard that I'll be doing. Now, this person, I will be making it in medium for her. So I'll be using about 10 inches, 10.9 because of the person that I am making it for. So, yeah. Now that we have got that figured out, guys, the first thing that we're going to go ahead and do is fold our fabric into 4, as you can see me doing right here. Fold it lengthwise and then widthwise, and I have a piece that'll be just enough to get the length of my fabric. And the reason we're doing this is because we need that folded edge to be able to cut a 360 peplum, and we'll cut 2 of those, making it 720. So to get the waist measurement, what you're going to do is you're going to divide your waist by 8. Take your waist measurement and divide it by 8. And then add about 1/2 inch at the end. So your waist measurement divided by 8, add about 1 or 1/2 inch. So we're just going to use that measurement from the folded edge to make a curve, as you guys can see me doing right here. This is just how I draft my peplums. We're going to make a rough curve and mark it. So then from the top of the corner, we're just going to use from that point to the rough curve and make a rough curve around the waist of the peplum. That is how we get the waist. I hope you guys understand what I am saying, as you can see on the screen here. And I'm just going to remeasure to double check that I have the right thing. So after that, it's time to get the length. Now, for the length of the peplum, like I said, it can be whatever you want. But because this person is a medium small, I will be using about 8 to 10 inches. As you can see, I'm describing to you guys. You know, like you just get me, right? You get me. So yes, that's what I will be doing. I use 10 inches on this. So I'm just going to take that 10-inch point, and from the waist, I am just going to mark all the way around from that 10 inches point, as you can see that I'm going ahead to do right now. And then after you finish marking that, we're going to go ahead and connect all the lines together. Yeah. So guys, cutting a peplum, when you get the formula, it's very simple. So after that, we're just going to go, while I'm cutting, I'm just going to go up by about 1/2 inch on the top and 1 inch on the bottom. 1/2 inch on the top where the waist is for seam allowance, and I'm going to go by, and obviously you can see it's a circle because it's a circle skirt. And then I'm just going to add seam allowance on the bottom as well. And we will be cutting 2 of these because right now, guys, what we have here is a, yes, guys, I finished cutting. So right now what we have here is a 360-degree skirt. When you open it, it's a full circle. But to be able to get 720, which is a double circle skirt, we'll be needing to cut 2 of these. So go ahead and cut it out on your other fabric right now, as you can see me doing, and cut 2 of those as well. So guys, now that we finished cutting out all 4 of our peplum pieces, 2 on each fabric, the next thing that we're going to go ahead and do is bring your interfacing. Guys, it's now that time to iron. Now, this is a tedious process, guys, but patience is a virtue. It is now time to iron our interfacing on all of our peplum pieces. Yes, you heard me. Every single one of our peplum pieces, we will be ironing interfacing onto. So go ahead and do that right now, guys. We got this, okay? Okay, great. Okay, guys, yeah, that's the peplum I made. Anyway, the next thing that we're going to do after we finished, yay, we finished ironing interfacing on all of our pieces. Woo, yeah. Anyway, so now that we've done that, the next thing that we're going to head and do is to start sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one of the sides of my peplum open on both of the pieces. Just cut one of the sides open because to make it a 720 degree, we need to join it. So open it up like this, and on any side of the peplum that you pick, you're just going to go ahead and face it right side to right side, and you're going to sew it. Yeah, just sew that line right there and do the same thing on your other fabric. Now that we've done that, guys, as you can see, I've ironed open my seam. Looks very nice and neat. The next thing to do, guys, is to sew the hem of the peplum. Now, guys, because of the fact that this is a reversible peplum, I will not be using a crinoline because this is not what my client wanted, and frankly, it's reversible, so there's not really need for a crinoline. But yeah, I'm just going to put my peplum pieces together, good side to good side, and I'm going to take my clips and clip it around the hem of my peplum. I'm just doing this as a demonstration for you guys. Clip it around the hem of the peplum, and we're just going to sew all the way around. And while we're sewing all the way around, I'm going to be using stay. As you guys might know, yeah, I'm going to be using stay like this, temporary stay, and I'm going to sew it all the way around with my peplum so that the edge of the peplum can be really strong and firm once we iron it. So go ahead and do that right now. As you guys can see, I'm on the sewing machine sewing it right now. You can see how I'm sewing my stay with the fabric at the edge of my peplum. Now that we've gone ahead to finish that, the next thing that we're going to do is notch. Yeah, notching, guys. Honestly, guys, truth be told, notching is a very important process. I really do not want you guys to skip it. If I'm being honest, I've skipped it sometimes before. Anyway, but yeah, guys, don't skip notching. Very important process. It makes the hem of your peplum really easy to push out, and it just looks neat. So after you finish notching, you're going to sew the side of your peplum and then flip it inside out. That's me, guys. See my beautiful face. So I'm cutting the corners off because I've already sewed the side down the peplum. And I'm about to flip it inside out so that we can have our nice, neat, delectable, delicious peplum. And yeah, that's just a big stick, like would help. And my mother is currently throwing satins on the floor. Roll of my satin. Anyway, yeah. So I'm pushing out my corners, and yeah. So now that I've gone ahead to fold it inside out, guys, what we're going to do is outside in anyway is iron it, guys. So go ahead and iron it very neatly, making sure that the fabric does not show on the other side. This is how we get the reversibility. Iron it, making sure the other fabric does not show on each side. Now, guys, I have my mother ironing my peplum for me. I don't got to worry about that. So next, we'll be working on the belt. So I have this long piece that I've cut for my belt here. Your belt can be any length you want it to be. I think mine is around 110, 120. But if you want a long belt, do a long belt. If you want a short belt, do a short belt. But make sure it's at least double the measurement of your waist. So yeah, I'm going to ahead to measure right now. So let's say your waist is 40, just for an example. Make sure your belt is 80 inches at least. That's if you want a moderate to short belt. But if you want a long belt, guys, you do you. I've done 130 before and it was absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, so I cut that out on both of my fabrics. So right now I'm gonna go ahead and iron interfacing to my belt. Now you only really need to iron it to one of your fabrics. You can do both, but if you don't want your belt to be extremely thick, just go ahead and iron it to one of your fabrics. And after you do that, yeah, I'll show you guys when I'm done with that. So guys, now I've brought our peplum back and it looks so beautiful and flat and ironed. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, yeah, so now that we've gone that, look, you guys can see how nice and neat it is. The other fabric is not showing at all on the other side, and that's the great part about using stay. So now make sure to go ahead and remeasure the top of your peplum to make sure it's your waist. And I just did a basting stitch at the top to hold it together. It doesn't have to be a tight stitch, just a really loose stitch. So after doing that, guys, as you can see, I have ironed interfacing to my belt and I sewed the side of it together. That is how we get our belt. Just go ahead and sew the side together. And I'm just going to iron it folded like this. I'm just going to fold it like this, which is what we need to be able to make sure the belt shows on both sides. So after I get that folded, I'm going to fold my belt in half, as you guys can see I'm doing here. Also, I've moved to my table, guys, away from the floor. Anyway, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold it in half just like this so that we can go ahead and get the waist of our peplum. Now, I hadn't ironed it folded. Frankly, I probably should have done that. So it's a little bit stressful, but it's okay, guys, you know. It's all right. So I'm just arranging my fabric right now. And the first thing that we're going to do is take your waist measurement. So whatever your waist measurement is, and you're going to divide it by 2. So take your waist measurement and divide it by 2. And after doing that, on the belt where the folded area is, you're going to take that measurement that's been divided by 2, and you're going to measure there and make a notch. Just make like 1/2 inch notch where your waist was folded so that we know exactly where the waist meets up. So after unfolding that, we did this so that we can sew the ends of the belt together to make it look nice and neat without a stitch showing, but then we still accommodate for what we need for the belt. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. So then you're just going to stitch all the way down until that notch area, then you'll back stitch, and then we're going to flip it inside out, and I'll show you guys actually when I'm flipping it inside out. So as you can see, I'm sewing the other side until I get to the notch. So guys, now that I finished showing the ends of my belt on both sides, I'm just going to bring it back. And what we're going to do is I'm going to notch the edges. As you guys can see, my black thread, I've sewn it around. And I'm just going to go ahead and notch the edges of the belt. And I'm going to flip it inside out, guys, so that we have a neat area where the belt is. So I'm just going to take my stick thing and, excuse me, I'm just going to take it and flip my belt inside out. So guys, I didn't realize I wasn't filming for this, but yeah, as you guys can see, I'm trying to go ahead and do that right now. So flip it all the way inside out on both sides, and you can just pull it out just like that. Yes. So now that I've done that, guys, I went ahead to iron it flat, making sure it didn't show. Looking beautiful already. So the part that's open, that we accommodated for the waist, as you guys can see, I went ahead to fold my edges in. That's what I did. That extra area that was left, I went ahead to go and fold my edges in so that I can just slide the tip of my peplum inside and top stitch it, guys. The reason we do this is to get a really neat and clean look, which I absolutely love. So I just ironed my edges in just like that so that we can slide our peplum inside and fold it. So bringing back my peplum, guys, I already remeasured my waist and everything to make sure it was perfect. So I'm just going to fold it in half and notch the middle because we need the middle point of our peplum. And then for the belt to get the middle, because obviously we don't want to notch it, I'm going to take my chalk, fold my belt in half, take my chalk, and just mark the middle. So I'm just gonna fold it in half and mark the middle point of the belt So after doing that, we know the middle point of the peplum, the middle point of the belt. So what are we going to do? Put it together. That is the last step, everybody. So just go ahead and open it and slide it in. Don't put all of it in. Put only about 1/2 inch inside of the belt. And you're going to do that all the way down. As you guys can see I'm doing, I'm going to put it in and then I'm just going to go ahead and top stitch it. That is how we make a 720-degree peplum. And as you can see, it looks great on the other side. So go ahead and do that now, guys. And we have finished our peplum. Yay. And these are the final results. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know this has been longly requested. So yeah, I love you guys. Bye.